My turn. No.
I'd love to use the switch more often because I have fun. I don't know about you, but that was I mean, he's just trying to distract you, which he did well. So tonight we are going to be getting into our second Get Over Yourself talk, part 2, and I have named it Hayah. Okay, that's not Hayah. You want to Hayah me? Thanks. Okay, when a good thing becomes the ultimate thing. Okay, that's what I want you guys to be focusing on tonight. When a good thing becomes the ultimate thing. So the Bible talks a lot about idols, right? These idols, and back in the Old Testament especially, you've got a bunch of idols that you'd usually sacrifice animals to. A lot of times you sacrifice children and babies to, right? And they're kind of this like evil thing. And so my question to you is, do you have idols in your life? Hopefully you're not sacrificing children to it. That wouldn't be very good. But do you guys have idols like they did in the Old Testament?
Yeah.
I don't know. See, idols is a funny thing because again, we characterize these like crazy things on the extremes, right? Like, okay, I don't have any idols if I'm not sacrificing sheep or animals or babies or children. But unfortunately, that's not quite what idols are. Not in its entirety, right? Because if that were the case, it'd be amazing because I wouldn't be guilty of having idols. And you wouldn't be guilty of having idols because, surprise, surprise, you got them. It's not the greatest, but you have them. And again, you can admit it openly or not, but tonight, hopefully I can convince you that you do have idols. And that's not necessarily a good thing, but I want to open your eyes because that's the first step to fixing something that's broken, right? And again, what I want to focus on is an idol is something you put your effort, your attention towards something. Anything could be an idol. Anything. God could be an idol. That would be a correct idol because he would be the idol, right? But everything that we put our time into, our effort, our thinking, and it can be good things. It can be good things. Idols can be very good things. And let me give you some examples, some good examples of some good things. We've got grades, we got school, and we got homework, right? Those are good things. Okay? We've got sports and competition. Who plays sports? Who plays some kind of sports? Yeah. Okay? Who plays video games? Okay? Some of the same. Who values friendship? Everyone's hand should be up. All right? Everyone should not be alone. Who wants to be dating someone eventually in their life? Relationships.
Not a chance.
I mean, or if you've already got it, Mr. Jack. For the single people in here, all the single ladies, that is me. So, at some point you want some relationships, right? And that is a good thing. But it can also be an idol. And I want to challenge you guys to think of them as things that can be put in the wrong order, right? Because if you want friendship, you got to put some serious thought in how to be a good friend, right? Generally, and you're like, I'm just the best friend automatically. Well, I wish I was you, because I'm not that great of a friend automatically. I got to put some thought into, am I going to tell Courtney his shorts look ridiculous, or am I just going to say, Courtney, you look good today? He's going to beat me up. Sorry, Courtney. Love you. So, some people have to put some thought into being a good friend, right? Or a good boyfriend, girlfriend. Some people have to put thought into how am I going to play this particular play during basketball or football or tennis or whatever, right? It requires our thinking. Now, all of these things, and I want to do a thought exercise with you guys. And roughly what I calculated, I could be wrong here or there, but roughly what I calculated as at the end of the day, when we tally up all the things that we have going on a single day, I think most of us have anywhere between 3 to about 5 hours of free time. Right? After school, after eating, after hanging out with your boring parents, whatever, you've really got anywhere between 3 and 5 hours of just time to do whatever. So what do you do with that time? I want you to think to yourself real quick. What do I do with all my free time? Just think about it for a second. I'll give you a few seconds. Where does all your free time go? Okay. Again, all that time, we like to make excuses, oh, I don't have time. We got a lot of free time. It's where do we spend it, right? Now, of that free time, how much would you say that you spend in your relationship with God? Now, if you're anything like me in junior high, or maybe me on different periods of my life, that's anywhere between 0 minutes and like 7 minutes, right? Or maybe 0 and 15, right? Where are you on your free time, of your 3 to 5 hours of free time? How much do you actually spend on your relationship with Jesus? For the people who have a relationship with Jesus, that's a different thing. For the people who do not, you may be spending time figuring out who the heck God is, who the heck Jesus is, and that is time that you're exploring, right? I would say that's good time spent. But most of us are anywhere between like the 0, being like, did you read your Bible every day? Probably not. And anywhere between about 15 minutes, roughly, okay? Of the 3 hours to 5 hours that we have. And so I want to ask you a question is, where in your life have you put things in front of your relationship with Jesus? Where in your life have you put something in front of your relationship with Jesus? I want you to think about that. Tonight, I want to quickly look at 3 verses, and that's it. And it's a profound story, something that I really love. It's one of my favorite, like, short things in the Bible that has so much into it. Like, I can spend 4 weeks just on these, like, 3 to 5 different verses. I'm only going to read 3, but it's a bit longer. And I love this story. It's so deep. It's so rich in things. And I'm just going to focus on one part that I want you guys to be paying attention to. Because if you listen, it could be the key that unlocks a lot of different things for you. And it's about 2 sisters. We got Martha and Mary. Okay? Two ladies. And it's in Luke chapter 10, 40 through 42. And I'm going to read from my Bible, but you can follow along. So we have what happened just before this is we have Martha invited Jesus to her house, saying, hey, I'm going to take care of you guys. Come. I'm going to make some meals, whatever. I want to host you. And we got Martha's younger sister. Who's got a younger sibling? Okay, this is going to relate to you guys, all right? So Martha's got a younger sister named Mary. Just a bit of a rascal, this one. Okay, so let's read. Martha's preparing things, and Mary is going to sit at the feet of Jesus. We'll get into that in a second. So, verse 40. But Martha was distracted by all the preparation that had to be made. She came to him. She came to him and asked, Lord, don't you care that my sister has left me to do the work by myself? Tell her to help me. Martha, Martha, the Lord says. And the Lord answers, you are worried and upset about many things, but few things are needed, or indeed only one. Mary has chosen what is better, and it will not be taken away from her. And I love that response to Martha, because I don't think that Jesus is scolding her. I really feel like he is lovingly saying, like, Martha, I really need you to pay attention. Focus for a minute. Don't get so upset, because your sister has chosen correctly. One thing you have to realize is Martha wasn't doing anything bad. She's working, right? She has to prepare a meal for Jesus and all his disciples, all the people who came with him. She's doing something that is important. Okay? As a woman, she's doing exactly what she should be doing. Now, Mary was not. Mary was sitting at the feet of Jesus, which, if you don't know anything about that time, that was not allowed. You were not allowed to learn in that form the way Mary was. So she was doing exactly what no woman should do. So you've got one who's doing what she should and one that she shouldn't be doing. But who does the praise go to? Who does Jesus say is right? The one who is doing what no woman should do. And I want to focus on that is the should part. Right? Because Martha is doing exactly what she should be doing. And yet Jesus says she's wrong. I find that odd. I find that strange, because we have a lot of things that we need to unpack here. Because what does it mean for us? And I want to answer that in a question. Because I want you to think about this. which sister have you been lately? And if you're a guy who is offended by that, what brother, if you want Mart and Marty, what brother have you been this week or this month? I want you to think about that just for a second. Because our culture is so, American culture is so driven by the things you do. That's what gives you worth, success, right? If you get good grades, you're successful. You're doing the right thing, okay? If you get in a good sports team, you're doing what you should be doing. If you have a dream to go to college, that's what you should be doing. That's what you should be wanting to do. And if you don't, you're unsuccessful and you're a loser. Right? There's these ideas that if you don't do something that as American society has put on us, you're doing the wrong thing. You should be busy. You should be overworked. You should be doing all these things. And yet, if we take an example from Martha, maybe it's not. Maybe it's not what we should be doing. Because those things like going to college, getting good grades, doing your homework, joining a sports team, all those things are not bad, and I don't want you to hear that from me. I love that you guys play sports. If you guys ever invited me and I actually have that time off, I want to go to your sport teams. But I want to challenge you is that the most important thing in your life? Because if it is, you are going down a path that only ends in ruin. Sports, relationships, video games, friendships, those will all fail you in a way that's cataclysmic to your life. Everyone on this earth and everything will fail you. And so if you're putting all of your time, all of your effort into these things that will only fail you, man, oh man, your life is a mess when it does. But what's the example though, right? So why should we follow Mary's example? Why should we focus on not the busyness, what we should be doing, but maybe on the teacher, right? Because she sits down with Jesus saying, this is the most important thing right now, and I'm going to choose this, which is crazy. So what does Jesus offer, right? Because the world offers a lot of things that will always fail us. What does Jesus say? He offers hope, everlasting joy, forgiveness for your sins, a true purpose in life, kindness, love, strength, heaven, right? All these crazy things. And the list goes on and on and on and on. The list of God's promises are insanely long. I don't know all of them. And I'm a nerd, and I study this, and I cannot name all of them. There's so many that God is promising you, Jesus is promising you. And so we put all this effort into the world when they're just going to fail us every way possible, because what we're really trying to do is we're trying to fill this God-shaped hole in ourselves that only God can fill. Everything else just kind of sits there and fades away. And it's left with that hole again. And we're constantly shoving things in there, and then it just falls away. Because we're not putting the right shape into that hole, which is God. We are all born to have this God-shaped hole. And if we continue to stuff it with crap, it's just going to be crap. Only God can fill that hole. Only God can fulfill these promises that we're constantly searching for. Because why do we have friends and relationships and sports teams? It's to fill the want and the needs that God has given us. And yet we're not chasing after God. It sucks. It sucks to see you guys go down that road. And again, what I want, just before we go into groups, and I want to make it nice and short, Jesus is simply saying to get over yourself. Because we like to lie to ourselves. We're too busy. We're too focused on school. We're too focused on homework, on all these other things. And God says, get over all of that crap. Spend time with me. That's all he's saying is slow down and spend time with me. That's it. Just don't focus on what you should be doing if you're neglecting me. Because I am the one you should be focusing on. The one question, and it's something that I love to death, and it really helped me with my journey, and I'm just going to leave you with this, is Jesus wants you, not something from you. He just wants you, and that's it. He wants your time, he wants your effort, he wants to be number one, and everything else is below him. But we are constantly putting stuff above Jesus and saying, slow down and get over yourself, because I'm number one, and I will give you everything you need. Jesus wants you, and nothing from you. So get into your groups and let's discuss all this stuff.